Good evening, America. On behalf of Operation Rock, I am Clayton Howard, here to talk about another video of intimate partner stalking and abuse. As many of you know, I am an active victim of domestic violence. Active meaning that my domestic situation, although one after trial, has not ended because my offender is still actively trying to destroy me. Tonight, I will speak about that and use it to apply to a situation, hopefully being able to educate someone else that was. The main intent of these broadcast people is to try to educate the people who might have gone or might be going through the exact same thing that I'm going through. Because people, I had no outlet. I did not know what to do. So I'm hoping that by spreading some of the knowledge that I've gained fighting a woman who seems to be obsessed with my total destruction, I'm able to help another man or woman who's going through the same thing by someone who is obsessed with your total destruction. So without too much talking, without further ado, people, I'm going to get right to it. So here we go. I am the victim of people so many atrocities. It is sad. But mainly, I am the victim of something called intimate partner stalking, which affects millions of Americans a year and normally and typically lasts about 2.5 years in the average intimate partner stalking scenario. But sometimes you get those people who just can't take no for an answer. And those people tend to take things a little farther and it lasts a little longer. And the longest typical intimate partner stalking recorded lasted over 20 years. But a serious problem is created when it lasts over 2.5 years because most of the time when it lasts over 2.5 years, it extends to over 5 years. And people, who really wants to be stalked for 5 years? I don't think many people. So me, people, I'm being stalked using litigation, something called litigation abuse. And people, I didn't even know some stuff like this existed until this happened to me. There is something called litigation abuse. People, you have physical abuse, you have that's my homie, but he can wait. You have physical abuse, you have sexual abuse, you have emotional abuse, you have psychological abuse. And people, I have learned a new term thanks to a psycho who has been stalking me called litigation abuse. Never thought I would know something like that really existed. But the basis of litigation abuse is when someone uses the legal system to harass the living hell out of you by filing false police reports. What they'll do is they'll file false family court orders on you. They'll file false police reports on you. They'll file false complaints for anything on you, people, just to jam you up enough to keep you in court before a judge and just inconvenience your life. This is what has been going on with me, people. I'm dealing with a psycho ex. She's obsessed with the fact that I like a lot of things happen, people. I'm at a point where my mission is not to insult anyone anymore, just to get the message out. Because people, I really think that getting the message out is more important, people. I have gone through a change. Once I saw how I was betrayed by this prosecutor who was supposed to be protecting me, people, I think I woke up to the fact that the only person that can help me is God and myself. And it hasn't deterred me, people. It's actually made me incredibly confident because I can rely on me and I can rely on God. I'm not relying on anyone else anymore to protect me because I've realized something that these people can't do nothing that they don't want to do. Um, my I have a situation where I am trying to receive support, where I had an angry ex girlfriend actually illegally obtain the medical records of my estranged father, who unfortunately happens to share a diagnosis with thousands of Americans share called schizophrenia. Now, I am not proud to admit that, but he is my father. In being respectful, although I might have an estranged relationship with him, I have to respect his privacy. And my personal problems should not spill over to him. So I ask people who watch this video at large to help me bring light to one woman named Francyna Evins of Staten Island, New York, who has an active trial issued final order of protection against her, who has been stalking the living hell out of me for 3.5 years and has gone so far that she managed to steal the court records of my estranged father and use them in family court to try to give me a diagnosis of schizophrenia, which I'm going to blow up for my audience so everyone sees it. Hopefully, everyone can see that word right there, schizophrenia. Hopefully, everyone can see it. I'm pretty sure everyone can. Now, here's the truth, people. I have never been diagnosed with schizophrenia, nor have I ever been diagnosed with anything other than depression at one point in my life. I'll be honest, because my mother died, people, and honestly, that hurt like hell. There is nothing worse than finding the only parent you've ever known dead on her bedroom floor, people. It's a horrible experience, one I would not wish on my worst enemy. But it happened to me, and I was able, people, I had no choice really but to adjust to it and do the best that I could, people. I had really no choice. So, people, I want to show people what I am dealing with dealing with my ex girlfriend, people. She's obsessed with me to the extent where she has made a whole campaign calling me breaking up with a diagnosed schizophrenic. People, I'm going to go further and I'm going to show my audience how terrible of a person this woman is because, people, she's calling me a diagnosed schizophrenia and she literally knows it's not me. But she wants to deceive people so badly into believing her bullshit claims that she was abused, people, that she's actually stolen the medical records of my father and tried to falsely use them online as though they are me. And to prove my point, people, here goes the screen. Make sure everything is litty right here. I am going to prove my point right now, my beautiful audience, by showing you. Now, if you see right there, that's Howard, right? This is an index number from the transcript because this is a document from the Richmond County Court, from something that happened with my father in October of 2017, as you can see. Now, he was on SSI and he started getting SSI in May of 1998. So, people, here he admits to schizophrenia, and I assume he did that to his mental disorder to try to get this SSI, to get his SSI check, whatever. But the point is, this document being from the court and being here, people, this is 100% me. That's why she has diagnosed schizophrenia, because it's probably covering his date of birth and everything. People, this is what I'm dealing with the lies of this woman, people, that she would actually steal the medical records of my father from over 20 years ago, people. Look at this. She stole, no, I'm sorry. She stole my father's medical records from people 6 years ago that was filed with the Richmond County Clerk. People, how did Francyna Evins get a copy of my father's medical records from the Richmond County Clerk? What type of corruption is going on Staten Island? People, Francyna Evans should not have access to my father's court records. How is that possible? People, this came from the courthouse. The courthouse has to know this is not me. The courthouse has to, people, there's a process when you go to a court. You have to fill out paperwork to get somebody's information. It's called a FOIL request or a motion to produce I forgot what it's called, a subpoena, excuse me. People, how does Francyna Evins have a copy of a document filed with the Richmond County Clerk with my father's medical diagnosis on it? And how has she been able to use it to impersonate me to tell people that I, Clayton Howard, his son, am a diagnosed schizophrenic? And if no one believes me, people, look at this. Breaking up with a diagnosed schizophrenia, burglary. People, this girl is crazy. My ex filed charges on me. Breaking up with a diagnosed schizophrenic. Bryce, breaking up with a diagnosed schizophrenic. People, this girl stole why I left the lie, the lie. People, this girl is a psycho. And it's like everybody cannot see the truth that this girl is fucking crazy. People, she's out of her mind. People, look at this. Look at this. Look at the slanderous page. Look, diagnosed schizophrenic, diagnosed schizophrenic, diagnosed schizophrenic. You're looking at this text message thread sent to Jenna Ventola. People, look how she reposts my content. This girl is fucking crazy, people. She has lied and stole my father's court records to convince people at large that I'm a diagnosed schizophrenic. People, how is this not harassment in the highest order? And how is this pastor who backed her, Victor Brown, not a completely lying, unethical piece of shit? People, you really think this pastor didn't know that I'm not a diagnosed schizophrenic? People, this man knew my mother for 30 years. This pastor knew I never assaulted my mother, and he definitely knows that I'm not a diagnosed schizophrenic since 1998. But people, he let this girl stand in front of a church of people, hooked her up with the DA, hooked her up with the cops, and is letting her tell the cops and the DA and everybody these lies that he knows is not true. People, again, though, we get the best of people by using the same things against them. And people, the only thing I got is civil suits. So I am filing many of them. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, help me stop intimate partner stalking, or help me expose light to intimate partner stalking by exposing Francyna Evins. Help me just stop this madness, because people, this is insane. This woman actually stole a man's father's concealed medical records to falsely diagnose him, to lie to people like he's a schizophrenic. People, this woman is pathetic. Help me stop Francyna Evins, people.